Michelle Taunton will lead things off for the Plymouth-Whitemarsh Colonials, who have seen their deficit swell to 4. The Eagles have put up exactly 1 run, no more, no less, in every inning except the second so far. And Taunton takes it low for ball 1. I mean, the Eagles have had a big threat. I mean, they've had runners in scoring position with less than 2 outs just about every inning. And able to make 4 runs out of it. Can't complain. But they've certainly left a ton of runners on today. That one's inside. That's ball 3. So it's Michelle Taunton, the right fielder, but then back to the top of the order with Corinne Watson on deck. Taunton skies it into the left, into foul territory, and Cretion, Berry, and Kidd all converge, but it's a good 2 steps away from any of them. So Taunton lives to see another pitch. And that one is low. Apparently, that was ball 3 to Taunton. Here's Foster with the windup and the pitch, and it's fouled back to the cage. Now 2 strikes on Taunton. Foster lost her no-hitter, her perfect game, all that stuff, but she still has her shutout intact. She's thrown a couple of them already on the season. Another one certainly wouldn't hurt here against the conference rival as Cretion makes the play and fires over to King. Boy, Cretion's got a heck of an arm. So back to the top of the order, and Corinne Watson now. The other corner outfielder for these Lady Colonials. And she steps out, calls a timeout. Still 4-0 Lady Eagles. We're in the top of the 6th. Plymouth-Whitemarsh has to make something happen in a hurry if they want to come back in this game. I'm Mark Kodinsky. You're watching Varsity Softball here on NASD TV. Cretion and the rest of the Eagles defense aligning themselves as that one's popped into the infield. Cretion puts it away. And that makes Corinne Watson the leadoff hitter 0 for 3 on the day. Their Plymouth-Whitemarsh's 1 through 3 hitters have combined to not get on base a single time. Hard to create some offense when that's the case. Here's Renee Stittler, who's 0 for 2. And it's inside for ball 1. Stittler's had a real rough game defensively, making 2 errors at the shortstop position. And that one's bunted at and missed, so it's a 1-1. Renee Stiller has grounded out and flied out to left field and takes a ball right here. Boy, Daisy Foster certainly looks like she's well on her way to another complete game shutout, but still has a couple outs to be recorded. Anything can happen. Stittler pops it straight up. It's into foul territory, and it drops into foul territory. As Gabby Berry, again, over there near the fence, trying to make a defensive play. Maggie Cretion doing her best Gabby Berry impression as Berry kind of went over towards the fence and lost her footing. Chilly day here in May here at North Center Area High School. And still overcast, but the rain's still holding up. Here's Foster, delivering it low for a ball. Foster's been nearly flawless today, and of course also 3 for 3. 2 for 2 with a walk, that is. And there's ball 4 to Stittler, and Renee Stittler gets on base for the first time today with a walk. That'll bring on the 3-hitter and catcher, Alexa Borkowski for Plymouth-Whitemarsh. Borkowski, just like Stittler, has grounded out and flown out to Sammy Kidd. Foster with the first pitch of the at-bat, and it's fouled back to the cage. It's 0-1. Two outs, runner on first. That is Stittler with decent speed over that first. And that's ball 1. It's 1-1. So just 4 outs to work with now for Plymouth-Whitemarsh, and they've got to create 4 runs out of it. Again, it's Daisy Foster, who's been on point today. I'm Mark Hudinsky. You're watching NASD TV. Once again, that score is 4-0 as Daisy Foster is 4 outs away from a complete game shutout. And Gina Pleccio has a pair of RBI to be the offensive star thus far in this game. That one smacked into foul territory and off of a car out there in foul territory. That's got to hurt. But staying alive is Alexa Borkowski. Foster with the 2-2 pitch. Very low and gets away, so Stittler will be able to take second. Makes a big turn, but she'll stay right there. And that'll run the count full. Foster with the 3-2 offering, and it is low. So the second walk of the inning given up by Daisy Foster, and the third of the game as Borkowski gets on base. And now Plymouth-Whitemarsh with 2 outs trying to dip into this 4-run deficit as they have runners on first and second. Meeting at the mound as Taylor Kovsik comes out. The infield will converge. And they'll talk about how they want to approach Tori Bertucci and perhaps just try to get Daisy Foster right mentally. As, you know, she hasn't really had a lot of base runners in this game. So, again, just like when she ran into a little bit of trouble in the last inning, you know, you just want to make sure that a couple of base runners doesn't throw her off and take her off of what she's doing, because that's the last thing you want to do when she's pitching this kind of a game. So the meeting on the mound is a brief one. Stittler, the runner on second. Borkowski, the runner at first. Foster on the mound, trying to work on a shutout. She's 4 outs away, but again, 2 base runners on here with Tori Bertucci, the cleanup hitter, at bat. Taps it foul off the plate. It's 0-1. Bertucci is 0 for 1 today with a strikeout and a walk. Lined down the third base line, fair. There goes the shutout for Daisy Foster as they throw behind the runner, but the throw gets away. So Alexa Borkowski, as they try to throw behind her at second base, will take third on the errant throw. Tori Bertucci on at first with an RBI single. That one was rocketed down the third base line, and coming in to score was Renee Stittler. And it is a 4-1 game with runners on the corners and 2 outs. Daisy Foster just needs to settle down here and get this last out. Carly Nozick takes it a little bit outside for a ball. Nozick fouls it back, and it'll be 1-1. Carly Nozick grounded out to second base in her last at-bat. She is 0 for 2 on the day. A lot of 0 for 2s up and down this PW lineup, as Daisy Foster really only ran into trouble in the 5th and the 6th. 1 through 4 didn't allow a single base runner. But as the game's going on, I guess PW's either kind of figured her out, or maybe Daisy Foster's worn down a little bit. Perhaps some combination of the two. Either way, she just needs to finish this one out. She's had good offensive support. The Eagles left a lot of runners on base all game, but 4 runs, can't complain. That's a solid offensive performance through 5 innings of offense. Curly back in. Foster delivers, and it's outside for a ball. Dance around over there at first base is Tori Bertucci, trying to distract some of the attention of the defense, distract some of the attention of Daisy Foster. And of course, the runner on third is Alexa Borkowski. Carly Nozick up right now represents the tying run. And that one is inside for a ball. That is 3-1 now to Carly Nozick. PW showing some signs of life here in the top of the 6th. Something they haven't really done all game. That one's shot out into deep left field over the head of everybody. Bertucci rounding third. She'll score. Borkowski has already scored. Rounding third and coming and actually holding up at third is Carly Nozick. Carly Nozick with a 2 RBI triple to bring PW to within 1, and now she represents the tying run, and she's standing out there on third base with 2 outs. So John Kendrick now out there to join this meeting with Daisy Foster. Wow, that was a shot out there by Carly Nozick, way over the head of Sammy Kidd, who had to go out there and retrieve it. And Alexa Borkowski and Tori Bertucci coming around to score the second and third PW runs of the game. And now the Eagles are in some serious trouble as Daisy Foster absolutely has to get Katie Wacker out now. Katie Wacker is 1 for 2. She reached on a bunt base hit in her previous at-bat. This game's suddenly grown very intense, very wild. Wacker holds off, and it is a ball high, 1-0. Four to 3, the Eagles lead. 2 outs here at the top of the 6th with Katie Wacker trying to knock in that tying run. Carly Nozick from third. That one's on the corner for strike 1. It's 1-1. Boy, 2 very contrasting ways of getting to where they are. It's PW scoring all 3 of their runs here on the top of the 6th. Narsound's 4 runs all scattered throughout the first couple of innings as Gabby Vera comes into field. The bunt throws low, and it's dug out by Stephanie Dinolfi, and they record that third and final out. Big defensive play there, and Foster able to strand the tying run on third base, and we will go to the bottom of the 6th. It's 4-3 Eagles. Taylor Copestick will lead things off for the Lady Eagles here in the bottom of the 6th. Then she takes it inside for ball 1. Copestick is 0 for 1 on the day, but she has walked. And now you see how important it is for the Eagles to get some insurance runs, as they're kind of cruising with that 4-0 lead, with Daisy Foster just dominating as Copestick chops it over to first, and it's taken to the bag by number 48, Carly Nozick, who was huge in that top of the 6th with that 2 RBI triple to deep left field. But, yeah, imperative for the Eagles to tack on some runs because, yeah, that 4-run lead with Daisy Foster pitching the way she was looked untouchable. But it just shows that PW was sticking around in that game, stranding a lot of Eagles runners on base, just sticking around as that one's chopped by Denolfi. She'll hustle down the line, but be thrown out easily. So that is quickly 2 down for the Lady Eagles, and we'll go back to the top of the order with Maggie Cretion, who's 1 for 3 on the day with a stolen base and an RBI. So in the top of the 7th, it'll be the last chance for PW. Eagles hopefully will make it more than a 1-run lead that they'll have to overcome, but whatever it is, it'll be Miller leading it off for the PW Colonials as she delivers to Cretion low for a strike. It'll be Miller, Jordan Katz, and Michelle Taunton. They have combined to go 0 for 6 today. 0 for 9, excuse me. And that one is a called strike to Cretion. 0 for 6, I was right the first time. As each of them have had 2 at-bats and all of them have been out 2 times. All the damage by PW as Cretion chops it over second base, but it's dropped out there. And Cretion will reach on the error as second baseman Jordan Katz will be charged with the error. So Cretion 1 for 4, but she reaches base on the error. And yeah, all of PW's damage offensively has been done by the 4, 5, 6 hitters, the middle of the lineup. The top of the order has done absolutely nothing, 1 through 3. The bottom of the order has done absolutely nothing, 7 through 9. Meanwhile, Norristown really scattered all throughout their offenses. They've, have good performances up and down the lineup. They've scored in 4 different innings. Of course, PW only scored in 1 inning, but they're down by only 1. It's 4-3, and I'm Mark Hudlinsky. You're watching NASD TV. Lady Eagles on top of the visiting Plymouth-Whitemarsh Colonials today in a big interconference game. Here's Cluth showing bunt, now taking it away, and taking a called strike. Cretion's a huge threat to steal. Like we said, she already has 1 on the day. Maggie Cretion is one of those players you just love to have on your team. Great defensively, great running the bases, pesky leadoff hitter. Just the perfect fit for this leadoff spot. That one's bobbled out there by Stittler, and that could be scored a hit or an error either way. But Stittler continues to struggle out there mightily at the shortstop position. I mean, it would have been a close play had she come up with it, just because of the speed of Sherilyn Cluth. But I mean, I'm thinking that's an error, and if it is, that's number 3 on the day for Stittler. She's 0 for 2 at the plate as well. And now the Eagles threatening to add some insurance runs. Foster shows bunt but takes it away, and Daisy Foster, who is 2 for 2 on the day with a walk. She's been on all 3 times, and of course all 3 times Shannon Melito has pinch ran for her, 2 of which she has come around to score. Foster lines it into right field for a base hit. Cretion, even with that speed, has to hold up at third because that ball was absolutely smoked. But that'll load up the bases for the Eagles. 2 outs, though, as remember, Copestick and Dunphy led off this inning with back-to-back outs. But Creechan reached on an error, Cluth reached on an error, and now Foster with her 3rd hit of the day. She's on base for the 4th time. Not to mention what she's done on the mound, although it's certainly taken a slight downturn here in the past couple of innings, but still, in the grand scheme of things, 6 innings pitched, 3 runs, not too bad, and 3 outs away from getting a W. So here's Gabby Berry. She'll take a pitch and line into center. Whacker coming up throwing. And the Lady Eagles go station to station as they will bring in Creechan, who scores. Everybody moves up 1. Cluth to 3rd. Melito to 2nd. And Gabby Berry on with an RBI single. That'll bring up Gina Palecchio, who has 2 RBI. Had an RBI single down the 3rd base line back in the 1st. And also a sac fly in the 3rd. She's also flown out. Palecchio nearly hit, instead, inside for ball 1. The 1-0 pitch from Miller. It's popped up into foul territory and out of play. Erica Miller has been in the game the entire time for the PW Colonials, and hasn't been a disaster, but has allowed a lot of base runners, but fortunately able to strand a lot of people and given up 5 runs through 5 2/3 thus far. Now it's poked up the middle. There's another base hit. Everybody's going to move up 1 more, and it's 6-3 Eagles. RBI single, Gina Palecchio, her 3rd RBI of the game. Sherilyn Cluth comes in to score. Base is still loaded now, still 2 outs. All of this done with 2 outs. Bases were empty with 2 outs when Creechan got it all started. So here is Sammy Kidd. Owen is down the middle for a strike. 0-1 to Sammy Kidd. Sammy Kidd is 0 for 2 on day. She has flown out, grounded out to the pitcher, and also has a sacrifice fly. The 0-1 pitch from Miller. That one's on the outside part of the plate for strike 2. Seems like Erica Miller does like to stay away from these right-handed hitters. I mean, 7 of the 9 Norristown batters are righties, and Miller really using that outer half more so than the inner half thus far. I mean, can't say it's done her much good as she's getting up the 6 runs. As Kidd smacks one to deep left field, and it drops in fair territory over the head of the left fielder, and the Eagles bring in another run, making another 2 runs, making it 8-3. It'll go as a 2 RBI double for Sammy Kidd, as the Eagles have, I don't know, it's as if they saw that their 4-run lead wasn't as safe as it appeared, and they just suddenly turned on the offense. And now Daisy Foster can go out there and try to complete her complete game in the top of the 7th with relatively low pressure, as it's now a 5-run lead for the Eagles. And it'll bring up Julia Santora. That one's on the outside part of the plate for a strike. Santoro is 2 for 3. She's grounded out to the shortstop, but also has a base hit up middle and another base hit in the third inning. Cut on and missed by Santoro for strike 2. Well, the bases were empty with 2 outs, like we said, but here we are, 4 runs later. And the Eagles look to be perhaps on their way to a big win here today. Certainly not over yet, though. Anything can happen in the top of the 7th. And the Eagles certainly aren't done necessarily here in the bottom of the 6th, as they have runners on second and third with 2 outs. Joe Santoro, the batter. The 2-strike pitch. She flares it into right, and that's a base hit. That'll bring home 2 more runs. Kidd crosses the plate with the 10th Eagles run of the day. Santoro trots into second with a 2 RBI double. Wow, you want to talk about a 2-out rally. The Eagles now with 6 straight runs with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. That's now 7 straight batters have reached for the Eagles. Cretion, Cluth, Foster, Berry, Pleccio, Kidd, Santoro. Now Kopstick will try to add to it. Kopstick's caught a real nice game, too, behind the plate. And offensively, 0 for 1 with a walk and a sac bunt. They'll use a pinch runner for Julia Santoro. That is Sarah Rossetti out there now on second base doing the running. Taylor Kopstick taking some practice cuts as Miller talks things over at the mound with some of her infielders and her catcher. So the Eagles have put up 10 runs of offense to this point. That one is on the outside part of the plate for strike 1. So the Eagles have officially lit up Erica Miller, the Plymouth-Whitemarsh starting pitcher. And the 0-1 offering. Back to the cage for another strike. 0-2 now to Taylor Kopstick. (10-3) Lady Eagles. Bottom of the 6th. 2 outs. Runner on second. That one's outside for ball 1. It's 1-2. The 1-2 pitch is grounded through the hole on the right side for a base hit. Sarah Rossetti will slide in there safely and trying to take second on the throw, and doing so safely is Taylor Kopstick. RBI double. That's the 3rd straight double for the Eagles now. And it is 11-3 Eagles as the offense does not stop coming. Erica Miller absolutely has fallen apart here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th and has allowed 8 straight base runners to reach. Also, keep in mind, Plymouth-Whitemarsh had 2 outs on the Eagles after Kopstick and Dinolfi. Actually, Taylor Kopstick led off this inning with an out, and then Dinolfi also followed that up with an out. And then Cretion hit a ground ball over to second base that was bobbled away by Jordan Katz. Right there, that could have been the inning right there. 4-3, we could be headed to the top of the 7th, a 4-3 ball game. But they missed that defensive play. Cretion reached. Then Sherilyn Cluth comes up, knocks it over to shortstop, and it was Renee Stittler who had a hard time fielding it and was unable to make a play on it. So there's another one. So this defensive lapse is certainly playing huge factor in this inning for PW, and that one is in there for a strike. Donofsky 0 for 3 on the day, including 0 for 1 in this inning, as she was the second batter of the inning. Eagles have batted around. That one slapped through the hole between first and second, and Steph Dinolfi has an RBI single as coming in to score is the pinch runner, Sarah Sposs. First hit of the day for Denofi. Give her an RBI. And it is 12-3 Eagles. Now comes Maggie Cretion, and as we continue to mention, she started this all by reaching on an error by Jordan Katz. Cretion, the 12th batter of the inning for the Eagles. You want to talk about an offensive explosion. She hits it over to shortstop Renee Stittler, and Stittler puts it away for out number 3, but not before the Eagles put up an 8 spot. We talked about how they were just putting up 1 spots, not having that big inning. Well, there's a big inning, all right, 8 runs. We go to the top of the 7th. Last chance for PW. They need 9 runs in this top of the 7th. Back here at Norristown Area High School, where the Lady Eagles softball team has just put up an 8 spot. It is 12-3. Daisy Foster was perfect through 4 innings. Ran into a little bit of trouble in the 5th, as that one is knocked up the middle for a base hit. So PW starts their comeback efforts with a base knock. But Foster ran into some trouble in the 5th, but was able to get out of it unscathed. Then in the 6th, ran into some serious trouble, gave up 3 runs. All of a sudden, just like that, 1-run game. But the Eagles, I guess that woke up their bats as they came back in their next offensive half inning and just absolutely dominated. Putting up 2 games worth of offensive statistics in 1 inning. So Miller just got on with the base hit, making her 1 for 3. And now dumping it into center field, but Sherilyn Cluth is able to catch it. Miller has to stay at first, and Jordan Katz just flew out for the first out as Sherilyn Cluth makes a nice running grab. That'll bring on Michelle Taunton. Michelle Taunton is 0 for 2. She's grounded out to Stephanie Donofsky and also grounded out to Maggie Cretion. That one's knocked over down the line and foul. So strike 1 to Michelle Taunton. Taunton chops it over to Gabby Berry. Gabby Berry will take the short out at first instead of trying for the double play. And it'll go 5-3. Berry to King on the defensive play, and the Plymouth-Whitemarsh Colonials are down to their final out. They need 9 more runs. I'll bring up the top of the order in Corinne Watson, who is 0 for 3. She has struck out. She has grounded back to Foster and popped out to Maggie Cretion. Taylor Copes will come out to talk to Daisy Foster. They'll talk about how they want to approach Corinne Watson and try to end this game. This was a big game for the Eagles, and it looked like they were just going to cruise behind a solid Daisy Foster performance, a little bit of offense. Then suddenly, things got exciting when Foster ran into some trouble, and then the Eagles' offense just absolutely exploded. So here's Corinne Watson with 2 outs, runner on second. That one is low, but still a strike. It's 0-1. Daisy Foster working on quite a game here, as that one's ripped down the third base line, but foul. I know Foster's probably slightly disappointed because she was dominating so much and then kind of had things unravel a little bit in the 6th inning. But still, if you take the performance as a whole so far, and she still has 1 more out to get, but real solid performance by Daisy Foster. And at this point, we've come to expect absolutely nothing less. That one's ripped down the third base line. This time it's fair. Miller able to move up just 1 base to third, and Corinne Watson has her first hit of the game. So that extends the game for Renee Stittler. She's had a real tough game defensively at shortstop. Also 0 for 2 at the plate. She has walked, though. That was her last at-bat. Foster with the first pitch of the at-bat. Hit on the ground through the hole between Barry and Cretion, and that'll bring in the 4th run of the game for PW, and moving up to second is Corinne Watson. So 12-4 Eagles. Obviously this lead is extremely comfortable, but you got to get that last out somewhere along the way. That one's waved at and missed by Alexa Borkowski. Borkowski is 0 for 2 on the day. She has grounded out and flown out. That one's low for another ball. That one's popped up into foul territory, and it's out of play for a strike. 12-4, Lady Eagles. 1 out away from a big interconference victory over arch rival Plymouth-Whitemarsh. Plymouth-Whitemarsh sent Erica Miller to the hill today, and she got lit up by this Eagles offense. Cretion ranges to her right to make the play. Strong throw to King at first, and that will do it as Cretion makes the strong defensive play to end it. 12-4 is your final. Daisy Foster, 7 innings pitched and 4 runs allowed. She also struck out 2. And the Eagles win it behind a 8-run 6th inning where they sent 12 Lady Eagles to the plate. And again, they take it by a final score of 12-3. Palecchio for the Eagles had 3 RBI. Boy, RBI all across the board. Kidd had 2. Santoro had 2. Kidd actually had 3. I correct myself. And really, you could go on all day about all these offensive statistics by the Lady Eagles because when you put up an 8 spot, everybody has good numbers. Daisy Foster, again, getting the win. Erica Miller charged with the loss. And the Lady Eagles take this game over their arch rival, Plymouth-Whitemarsh Colonials, by a final score of 12-4. I'm Mark Kledinsky. You've been watching Varsity Softball on NASD TV. Stay tuned for some more exciting softball broadcasts for the rest of the season. Also tune into the sports show Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 5:30, Saturday, Sunday at 2:30. We'll break down this game. We'll break down other Lady Eagles softball games. We'll break down everything in the world of sports in Norristown. But for now, I'm Mark Kledinsky. Thanks for watching.